Aging is a journey that comes with wisdom and experience, but let's be honest, it's not all graceful exits and golden years. Some parts of aging are downright unpleasant, and no one really warns you about them. From changes in appearance to shifts in behavior, there are some ugly truths about growing older that often go unspoken. But here's the thing, acknowledging these realities isn't about shaming anyone. It's about understanding and preparing for them. The truth is, the more we know, the better equipped we are to handle what's coming. So if you're ready to dive into some uncomfortable but necessary conversations, let's uncover 12 ugly things seniors do as they age that no one tells you about. And trust me, some of these might surprise you. One of the least talked about but most noticeable changes in some seniors is a decline in personal hygiene. It might seem shocking, especially if they were once meticulous about their appearance, but it's more common than you think. There are a lot of reasons for this, from physical limitations like arthritis making showers painful, to cognitive decline where the importance of daily hygiene just slips away. Depression and loneliness also play a role, draining the motivation to keep up with grooming routines. And let's not forget the impact of medications that can cause fatigue or dizziness, making even simple tasks feel overwhelming. The worst part? Friends and family often avoid addressing it out of embarrassment or fear of causing offense. But ignoring the issue doesn't help. It only deepens isolation and impacts health. Recognizing this change with compassion and finding ways to assist without judgment is the key. Small adjustments like installing grab bars in the shower or scheduling regular help can make a big difference. Another unsettling reality of aging is the tendency to hoard. We're not just talking about collecting a few extra keepsakes. It's the accumulation of newspapers, expired products, and things that serve no real purpose but fill every corner of the house. At its core, hoarding is often about control. As seniors lose control over aspects of their lives like their health, independence, or even where they live, holding on to items becomes a way to cope. Sometimes it's linked to dementia or other cognitive impairments that make it hard to part with anything. Other times it stems from a fear of scarcity, a mindset formed in times of financial hardship. The tragedy is that it often drives loved ones away and can create dangerous living conditions. Helping a senior through this isn't about tossing things out. It's about understanding the deeper fears behind it and approaching the issue with patience, empathy, and professional support if needed. Aging often comes with a surprising side effect, a lack of filter. Seniors may start saying exactly what's on their mind, no matter how blunt or socially inappropriate. This can be anything from unsolicited opinions about someone's weight to politically charged comments at family gatherings. While it's easy to chalk this up to a don't care attitude, there's usually more to it. Collective changes, particularly in the frontal lobe of the brain, which governs impulse control, can make it harder to hold back thoughts. In other cases, it's a reaction to years of suppressing opinions to keep the peace. The result? Unfiltered honesty that can catch loved ones off guard. Addressing this isn't about scolding or shaming. It's about understanding why it's happening and finding gentle ways to set boundaries. Sometimes a simple redirect or a private conversation can help maintain respect without causing embarrassment. One of the more difficult changes to navigate with aging is the rise of suspicion and paranoia. Seniors who were once trusting and warm can suddenly become convinced that family members are stealing from them or that strangers are plotting against them. This isn't just frustrating, it can be heartbreaking for loved ones trying to help. Often, this shift is tied to cognitive decline, like dementia, which can warp perceptions and memories. But even without cognitive issues, a lifetime of seeing how the world works can breed a kind of defensive pessimism. Seniors might have also fallen victim to scams before, making them wary of everyone, sometimes even the people closest to them. The key to handling this isn't to dismiss their concerns outright. That only deepens the divide. Instead, validating their feelings while gently presenting the facts can help. Simple actions like keeping finances transparent and involving them in decisions can restore a sense of control and trust. As people age, some tend to hold on to beliefs and opinions that may feel out of place in today's world. Whether it's about technology, gender roles, or social norms, seniors can seem resistant to change. clinging tightly to the past. It's easy to dismiss this as stubbornness, but often it's a coping mechanism for a world that feels like it's changing too fast. For many seniors, the past represents a time when life made sense, when rules were clear and familiarity brought comfort. Adapting to new ideas can feel like erasing parts of their identity. This resistance isn't just frustrating for younger generations, it can create emotional distance in families. The solution isn't about forcing new beliefs, but finding common ground through respectful conversations. Sharing stories, listening without judgment, and gently introducing new perspectives can make a world of difference. After all, growth doesn't stop with age. Sometimes it just needs a little patience and understanding to flourish. Aging can sometimes blur the lines between what's personal and what's public, leading to a phenomenon many families are familiar with: oversharing. Seniors might start revealing intimate details about their health, finances, or even family drama to neighbors, acquaintances, or even strangers at the grocery store. While it can be embarrassing for loved ones, there's usually a reason behind it. For some, it's a way to connect. Loneliness can push them to seek validation or sympathy. For others, cognitive changes can impair judgment about what's appropriate to share. The key is not to scold or shut them down in public. That only leads to confusion and hurt feelings. Instead, having private conversations about what's appropriate to share and why it matters can help. Suggesting alternative ways to express themselves, like journaling or chatting with a trusted confidant, can also satisfy their need to communicate without oversharing. As people age, routines can transform from comforting rituals into rigid rules that must not be broken. Seniors might insist on eating at the exact same time every day, resist any change in their surroundings, or react strongly if plans are disrupted. On the surface, it can seem controlling or unreasonable, but there's often a deeper cause, a desire to hold on to a sense of control in a world that increasingly feels out of their hands. Health issues, loss of independence, and cognitive decline can make the familiar feel like the only safe ground. Routine becomes a lifeline, a way to make life predictable when so much else is not. Understanding this can make it easier to handle these situations with empathy rather than frustration. Offering choices within the routine or gradually introducing small changes can help seniors feel empowered without making them anxious. Sometimes it's not about breaking the routine, but adjusting it gently. As people age, it's not uncommon for them to become more vocal about what they dislike, whether it's criticizing family members' life choices, complaining about service at a restaurant, or pointing out flaws in everything from politics to fashion. This hypercritical attitude can create tension at family gatherings and alienate those trying to help. But the root cause often goes beyond just grumpiness. As life narrows with age, social circles shrink, health declines, and independence is lost. Focusing on what's wrong can feel like a small way to regain control. It can also be a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Displaced frustration at their own aging process. The key is not to take it personally or react defensively. Setting gentle boundaries while also acknowledging their feelings can ease the tension. Simple phrases like, "I hear you, but let's focus on the positive," can redirect conversations without dismissing their emotions. One of the most frustrating yet heartbreaking aspects of aging is the refusal to ask for help, even when it's clearly needed. Seniors may insist they're fine managing everything on their own, from carrying heavy groceries to handling finances, even as it becomes obvious that they're struggling. This isn't about being difficult, it's about dignity. For many older adults, asking for help feels like admitting they've lost their independence, a bitter pill to swallow after a lifetime of self-sufficiency. Pride, fear of becoming a burden, or denial about their own limitations can all play a role. The challenge for loved ones is finding a balance between providing support and respecting their autonomy. Offering help in a way that preserves their dignity, like framing it as teamwork or asking for their advice, can make acceptance easier, creating opportunities for them to reciprocate help in small ways can also maintain their sense of worth and independence. Another ugly truth of aging is the sudden rise in anger and irritability. The smallest inconvenience can trigger outbursts, anything from a slow internet connection to a misplaced item. For family members, this can be both confusing and exhausting, especially if their loved one was once easygoing. The reasons for this change are often a mix of physical and emotional factors. Chronic pain, medication side effects, and conditions like dementia can lower the threshold for frustration. But there's also the grief aspect. Grief over lost independence, physical abilities, or even friends who have passed away. This mix of emotions can manifest as irritability, with seniors lashing out at those closest to them. Approaching these outbursts with patience instead of defensiveness can help de-escalate situations. Simple techniques like validating their feelings, "I can see you're frustrated, let's figure this out together," can shift the mood without making them feel dismissed. One of the most heartbreaking yet rarely discussed aspects of aging is the tendency to withdraw from social activities and relationships. Seniors who were once the life of the party can become reclusive, avoiding gatherings, skipping family events, and even dodging phone calls. This isn't just about preferring peace and quiet. Often, it's a complex mix of fear, fatigue, and self-consciousness. Health problems, hearing loss, or the fear of being seen as frail can make socializing feel exhausting or even humiliating. Grief and depression also play a role, making the effort to connect seem pointless. Unfortunately, isolation only deepens the emotional and cognitive decline, creating a vicious cycle. The key to breaking this pattern is understanding the why behind the withdrawal and offering low-pressure opportunities to reconnect. Like short visits, casual phone calls, or activities that play to their strengths. Sometimes just knowing that someone genuinely wants to hear from them can make all the difference.